Welcome back, watch lovers. This is Angel, and we are taking a look at gradient dials here at SwissWatchExpo. Stick around. Hello world, welcome back to another video here at SwissWatchExpo. And as you know, we love to take a look at the top 3 in certain categories. And today we are taking a look at 3 gradient dials. And that represents where the color kind of fades into a lighter color in the center. And each brand has their own kind of name for it, whether it's Rolex with a vignette dial. You may hear some brands use the word graduated dial, and of course gradient dials. We are taking a look at 3 really special watches today: the Rolex Pearlmaster in the ladies size, the Planet Ocean Omega, and also the Tag Heuer Octavia. So let's get right into it. The first watch we'll take a look at today is this gorgeous Pearlmaster by Rolex. It was launched in 1992, and this watch has a beautiful blue vignette style dial. The diamonds around the bezel and on the dial, of course, are Rolex. It is a 29mm watch, and the reason I love this watch is it came out at a time when luxury watches were a little less heard of, and this was an answer to the ladies' Datejust that was out at that point and really kicking it up a notch. The bracelet on the Pearlmaster is signature. It's gorgeous. It has such a beautiful kind of curvature to the links. 5 portions to the link, which I think also gives that much more detail in the watch. And the way that it looks, it almost gives you a night sky and really showcases those diamonds. And then you'll have that lighter blue right in the middle. This is a beautiful timepiece for any collection. This one is done in the 18 karat yellow gold, which I think is so pretty when they do a high polish on a bracelet like this. It's a gorgeous piece for any collection and just something that looks as though it's a beautiful piece of jewelry. Great option for a ladies vignette graduated gradient dial here in the Rolex Pearlmaster. So next up, we're going to be taking a look at 2 gentlemen's watches. And as I kind of took a look at some of the details and the specs on these watches, they really have great stories. And I think I will start today with this Tag Heuer Autavia. Now, say what you want about Tag Heuer, but they have such a long, rich history. The Autavia is the combination of the 2 words automobile and aviation. So you come up with that word Autavia. And it was launched originally in the 1960s with the name Autavia. It actually was the predecessor to the Carrera and watches like that. And when you look at a watch like this, now take that back a little bit. It actually originally came out in the 30s, in the 1930s, but it had no name. This is actually the first watch that Tag Heuer released with an actual name and collection. They've had over 80 renditions of this watch. And the reason I love this one, they call this the brown smoked dial. I love that color on it. The bezel is done in the ceramic bezel. You'll have the superluminova on the Arabic numerals and the hands there. Beautiful date at the 6. And also I love the way that they've done the crown here with that signature Tag Heuer emblem. And the idea behind this watch was that, you know, when the aviation and automobile boom had started to really happen, it was something that could be mounted on the dashboard of those vehicles so that you could do timing and things of that nature. They have GMT versions of this. They have different chronometer versions of this watch. And last year, the Autavia actually celebrated a really big anniversary as well. So the other reason I love this watch is I think Tag Heuer does such a beautiful job on the bracelet with this watch. It's not only kind of articulated here, but they've really put some nice angles on the links and probably one of the most streamlined, beautiful clasps on this watch. Tag Heuer is just such a great brand, a sturdy brand that's going to hold its value over time, and a great piece to pass down. And this one is very unique with that brown smoked dial. And also coming in at 42 millimeters, in case you were wondering what the size was on something like this. Gorgeous piece, and I love the story behind it. And then last, but of course, certainly not least, is the Omega Planet Ocean. So this watch is the Planet Ocean Ultra Deep. It can go 20,000 feet below sea level. And the reason I love this one in particular, if you take a look, you can of course see that gradient dial, the signature Planet Ocean orange. This bezel is done in the ceramic as well. I love the little notches around the bezel. I think that they look great with the high polish and satin finish integrated. But this watch is a very special watch. If anything Omega does is they participate in some of the biggest expeditions that have ever happened throughout our history. And I think they have a great way to kind of keep history in our mind as we collect these timepieces, because you can always be sure you'll have a story behind whatever watch it is that they create. So not only do they do the Speedmasters, which go up into space, up to the moon, of course, the signature moon watch, things like that. This is the Seamaster. So as far as you can go deep. Now, this is the five deeps expedition watch. Very special expedition where there were expeditions that happened in all of the 5 major oceans around the planet. And they have had the opportunity to find some new species and things of that nature just by going ultra deep into the ocean. It's such a great story and a lot of detail that I won't get too much into because I can be a little bit of a science nerd to learn some of those things. But this is a great representative of that expedition. It's a 45.5 millimeter. You know, Omega loves to put the 0.5 on their sizes, but the lugs are beautifully tapered. You'll have some satin finishing, high polish. The bracelet, of course, is gorgeous. They've done a little beveled edge on the edges of the links, and then nice clean clasp with the pushers here on the side. And of course, just that beautiful case back with the Seamaster Professional and of course, coaxial escapement on a watch like this. It's a stunning piece and really something that you'll want to have in your collection if you're a true avid watch collector. So 3 top gradient dials with some other features that are really, really beautiful to speak about. That gives you something to talk about when it catches someone's eye and they're like, oh, what kind of dial is that? You can tell a story behind the watch. So my 3 top gradient dials here at Swiss Watch Expo. Let us know about some other options that you like down in the comments below. There are lots of brands that have this feature on the dial. We'd love to hear about it and maybe get together with you on a FaceTime to show you these watches on a wrist. My name is Angel here in Swiss Watch Expo, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video.